I'm Riches here at a well-known gym in Los Angeles, California. Welcome to Fit Tips, Tricks and Techniques. Today we're having a look at abdominals, or six-pack, tight toned abs. Number of different names, but one thing is for certain, and that's their definition for most people. These are at the top of their training list, which is today we're looking at a number of different exercises to help you develop complete, proportional, well-developed six-pack abs. Let's get to it. Now, one of the hardest places to get developed on the abdominal area happens to be the lower portion here. If you think about it, this is typically where body fat stores, especially around males and in females, although more around their hips and glutes, which is why no matter how many crunches you may be doing and start to get these upper few abdominal six-pack abs here, getting the lower portion to come through requires a little bit more work than, like I said, simply dieting and cardio. So the first exercise I'm doing is lying leg lifts. This involves the hip coming forwards with the lower abdominals contracting. You see, basically these abs and these are the same, crossed with these horizontal bands of muscle, which kind of give us that six-pack look. So the first thing we're going to focus on is working the lower section here to actually condition and develop these muscles, allowing us to then focus on the obliques and upper. Let's break this exercise down and have a look at the tips and some of the techniques involved with this movement. Firstly, my legs are kept fixed. I'm not bending at the knee, although if you find straight leg lifts a little bit too difficult to start on, keep the legs permanently bent and then just focus on bringing the knees closer towards the shoulders as you contract the abs. Secondly, breathing. You may have heard me. I'm breathing all the air out of the lungs, so I'm contracting my abs before I get to that peak of the movement. So combine them, I really start to involve and engage the lower area of the abdominal structure. So it's this breathing combined with that very focused small range movement, but actually engaging the muscle rather than swinging back and forth. If you're just starting off, 10, 12, 15 reps is a great number to aim for. If you want to start off in this exercise but your training intensity is already up here, aim for anywhere of 20 to 30 repetitions, again really focusing on that deep contraction. Alright, next up I want to show a variation to this to be able to step you up to that next level, allowing baby steps as you progress in your ab development. Alright, to allow us to be a little bit more focused on this exercise, again, not overloading the lower abdominals, but keeping them a little bit more focused in that movement. I've got a small Swiss ball, this is about 55 centimeters. I'm just going to lie down, same movement again, but lock my heels around the ball to keep that leg position absolutely fixed. So that one variation there, adding in some apparatus to really lock in that leg position, allows me to increase the intensity on the lower abdominals. 15 up to 30 repetitions using the Swiss ball, and then we can move on to the next exercise, which is medicine ball V rotations. So let's get a smaller ball. already that's starting to take my breath away. With this one, with the side rotations, the obliques, both the internal, external obliques, are kind of like these lower and upper V's, kind of like this. And they work by rotating the core, basically accelerating and de-accelerating, which is why it's useful adding in this resistance to allow us to focus on the speed of the switch. Another thing, breathing, short breaths. I'm exhaling each time I rotate round, taking a short breath in as I return back to the start. And thirdly, positioning. I start by leaning back, engage my abs so that they have some resistance on them, and then keep my arms fixed in that ball at a set distance, rotate. Now I found if you do want to take the ball up, basically take the weight up, you can also use dumbbells to help lock your feet in and therefore add a little bit more resistance back into the movement. Right, moving on. Exercise number 3. Right, so let me explain. The exercise before this, we rotated around the trunk. On this one, we're basically flexing it laterally. Now granted, that does tend to work the erector spinae, the thicker part of the lower back, but as you can see with the breathing, I'm really contracting and engaging the obliques on that top side. So let me explain and break down the exercise. Laying on my side, shoulders stacked on top of each other, my hips are in line, my heels in line. Kind of like a fish out of water. So my hips are stacked, my heels are together, and if a fish is kind of flapping out of water, you're doing a controlled version of that. Heels and shoulders lift up off the ground at the same time as you engage your obliques here. So you're not leaning back and forth. 15, always up to 30 reps if you can manage that, and then switch sides, or you can do 15 on each side and switching in between. Now there's one easy way to be able to advance this exercise up and add some resistance, but for that I need a small dumbbell. So I have a small weight, this is only about 10 pounds, and with this I'm going to do the same exercise but keeping this top arm up, allowing me to push that weight up and really add some extra resistance into working my intercostals, these finger-like muscles just under the chest. My other hand is still going to reach around and I have my fingers around those lower obliques that I'm working. This is known as touch training, and just a slight variation or twist can really help emphasize the muscles being worked. And when you start to feel this, you can tweak the exercise as you perform it. I may have included these exercises in what you can consider as the beginner abdominal circuit, but by adding in enough resistance, you're changing one of those factors enough to really make this quite an advanced exercise. Finishing off with this particular ab circuit, we are going to focus now on the upper abdominals, saving these for the end when we've given our most attention and energy to the more troublesome areas of the lower and the side, including intercostals. So I'm going to put the dumbbell back and I'll see you back over here with the bench for my double abdominal crunch. Right, so last exercise, double crunch to engage both the lower and the upper, both contracting at the same time. So we all know how a standard crunch goes, or sit up. Arms usually, hands by your temple. You breathe out, contract the abs, and the shoulders lift up about 2 inches off the floor. We're going to do the same thing but replicate that movement with the hips, kind of like on that first exercise with the lying leg lift, so that the hips and the shoulders come together as we breathe out and contract. Quite a powerful movement, especially for developing some thickness to the abdominal structure. Okay, just a few points about this double crunch foot positioning. I have my feet, or my heels rather, on this bench here, allowing me to keep a right angle at my knees and my hips. Therefore, I'm adding a little bit of weight, basically my legs, over that lower abdominal portion, so that as I breathe out, contract the abs, bring my shoulders and my knees up to try and meet at the same point and getting that maximal contraction in the abdominal region. If you can, 15-20 repetitions upwards. And if you're hitting 20, you might want to add some resistance in, either keeping that dumbbell that I just put back, arms locked out, pushing it straight up, or a medicine ball. So as you can see, when it comes to getting six-pack abs, it's a lot more than simply cardio and lack of food. Everything in between, including exercise variation, repetitions, tempo, and advancement, adding in some resistance if you need it. Join me next time on more fit tips, tricks, and techniques, when I'll be sharing with you more ways to get in great shape and focusing on different body parts. Take care.